Here's what's next on the Nice Guys on Business.
And not just do less because we think you should be a big loser and not check off life's tasks. Do less because me have experienced the depths of what burnout feels like, trying to navigate caring for everybody and putting myself last. And that's really what our message was born out of, was that experience, and the fact that my sister, who also happens to be a teacher in yoga and mindfulness, she was able to pull me from a place where I was drowning at a pace that wasn't sustainable. And we there created this conversation, this
Formula.
message, this formula: slow down, care less, do nothing, because those are the tools that we feel, know, and live every day are what your well-being relies on. It's
Totally.
how to live the good life.
Listen, strange women lying in ponds distributing swords is no basis for a system of government. Supreme executive power derives from a mandate from the masses, not from some farcical aquatic ceremony or the nice guys on business. Go from where you are now to where you could be. Get expert tips to grow your business, to be more productive and more efficient, whether you're trying to build influence, grow your community, or make it rain. Best-selling author of Nice Guys Finish First, Doug Sandler, can lead the way. The Nice Guys on Business is produced by TurnKey Podcast Productions. Now, here's your host, Doug Sandler.
All right, nice guy community. So today we were going to start a show that actually was going to be called like middle-aged white guys, and nobody was going to fucking listen to that. So we decided that we do the next best thing. So nice guy community. Today's guests are here to tell you how to slow the hell down and stop pretending busy is a personality trait. Creators of the slow down, care less, do nothing formula. I really want to dig into this a little bit. Lauren and Michelle are the founders of the Sister Project and hosts of Cozy Conversations, a podcast that combines self-care with a side of badass and sass. They believe in doing less and finding pleasure in the little things. Well, since I have a little thing, you'd find a lot of pleasure in that. Like a perfect cup of coffee. Let's just move on. Let's move on. And let's be real, a well-timed nap, tattoo sleeves, and as of the recording date, the belief that Galentine's Day, basically, I interpret that as a dose of fuck it romance and bring it on fuck love attitude.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're into sister talk and maybe a little bit of mischief and fuckery, you're going to love these two. Welcome, ladies, Lauren and Michelle, to the podcast.
Wow.
Doug, thank you. Can you just introduce us everywhere we go?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I'm looking for a job that doesn't pay. How does that one do? Is that, can I,
We'll throw a couple bucks your way.
So what do you got, like, other than the podcast and sell some candles? And by the way, why are there no like coffees or vibrators or anything like really cool I mean, not that candles aren't cool.
Why would we have vibrators?
Well, I would carry a vibrator on my store if I had a store.
I'm more leaning, I'm not but I'm leaning towards coffee and wondering why. But you're not the first person that has suggested maybe
Someone
break into that market, and maybe we should listen more, Lauren, because
maybe we should. I guess we should just start selling vibrators.
Well, when I was listening to the Galentine's Day episode, it basically, I think what I was getting from that is, and I don't think that people need to have any kind of relationship in their life to be happy. If you're not happy with yourself, how the hell are you going to be happy with another person in your life, making them happy? But I got the sense that, look, you don't need anything other than yourself. Do as little as you possibly need to do in order to skate by. I mean, how much more do you need to say, I want to be with myself a little bit more? And I thought vibrator was the perfect mix of that, but I could be wrong.
I feel like it's not a terrible idea. However, with that podcast episode, we were celebrating female friendships, so it was more about actually diving into and appreciating the art of a friendship and like literally the health benefits of friendships that women have with one another. Because, there is so much going on in life, and sometimes the love life fucks things up. So you need to lean into the female friendships. But you know what? I'm just going to put vibrator on maybe 2027 goals and see what happens.
Long-term goal.
That is a long term. That's 2027. We're in 2025. Why is it going to take you 2 years to get them on? You could have an affiliate relationship.
There's a lot that goes into this.
All right.
That's
fine.
Safety, all of these things.
So you guys have this project called the Sister Project, and what came first, the podcast or the project?
The project.
Okay,
Project came first in 2014.
take me back to the passion that motivated that project.
Wanting to disassociate from my real job and real life. So I jumped deep into an idea where I could create a platform with my sister Lauren that shared our lifestyle, basically. We called it our junk drawer in the beginning. But what happened is when we launched the podcast, the Sister Project, our mom was also diagnosed at the same
No,
time.
when we launched our
Sorry.
our blog. That
Got
the
it.
blog was
Yep.
the Sister Project started as a lifestyle blog.
Yep.
And as Michelle was saying, Michelle, take it from there. June, our mom was diagnosed with
Our
dementia.
mom had been also diagnosed in the same year with a rare form of dementia called FTD. So as we were navigating this new passion project, we were also navigating our new normal, which was taking care of our ailing mom. And we organically started to share about that journey and accidentally stumbled upon a whole mess of people that have all shared like experience in the whole cognitive decline space, which
So
is, yeah.
I think about I wrote for Huffington Post. This is probably 10 or 12 years ago, and I wrote for them, and it was like the blog came out on Monday morning, 7 a.m. That was my deadline for it. Huffington didn't have any specific deadline, but that was my self-appointed deadline. And Sunday night around midnight, I'd be like, oh fuck,
What am I going to write?
what am I going to write about?
Yep, we know
And-
that feeling.
And I
Reminiscent,
struggled
I feel
through right. So I struggled through that for 3 years, 150 posts, and every Sunday it was the same. It was the same story. And then I wrote this book called Nice Guys Finish First. And I said to my partner, a friend of mine at the time, we were represented by the same agent back in Washington, D.C. before both of us got out of Dodge. And we talked about launching this podcast that was going to promote the book. We had no idea what the podcast was going to evolve into and how many different shades of new color this was going to take on. And I think about the evolution of that. You guys as blog writers, I mean, no offense to your writing talents at all. You have great talent in writing, but you as messengers through audio, so much clearer and so much easier to feel you.
Totally.
That was our most, I think that was the feeling that we shared most, the excitement, the idea to be able to like put content out in that medium where we could, we felt free. We felt like we could, we were always ourselves, but to another level, because there's nothing quite like creating a podcast.
Lauren, how long did it take you before you realized once you hit record on that recorder for the first time, how long did it take you to realize I can be like my authentic self? It took us, I'm going to just tell you, just so you don't feel like, okay, well, we did that immediately, or it took us 7 years to do that. It probably took us about 2 years to figure that out, maybe about a year before we could say, you know what, we don't have to have a G-rated show. We can be like we are in real life. How long did that take you guys?
Not that long, to be honest with you. I think what we had to do was figure out what the show, our messaging was, and what the format of the show was going to feel like, and sound like. Michelle and I have had, as we mentioned, our blog space and our social media presence for a long time now, and so we've had that authentic presence always. The podcast gave us the opportunity to really kind of catapult that sense of self and authenticity. I teach yoga as well. Here in Chicago, I teach yoga, and then I also had a former mini career on television doing entertainment reporting for a thoroughbred racetrack. You're out in California, so maybe Santa Anita is like your closest one, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
The one I'm talking about was Arlington Park. It's closed down and whatnot, but I've always loved being on audio, being on television. So when Michelle and I came up with this idea to have a podcast, it felt like something, it was like a dream come true idea, because I love talking. I can talk forever. And we are very opinionated. We've got thoughts we want to share, and we've got messages that we want to share with our listeners as well. So to answer your question, not that long. Honestly, it just took us longer to figure out the feel of the podcast. And then once that happened, we were like, it was just it all came together, and then everything like exploded in a good way.
I,
We listen, we do swear too, right? We talk about things sometimes we shouldn't talk about, but we don't care.
what is that? So Michelle, maybe you can add to this. I don't know that there's any topic that is off limits for our show. Strickland and I talk about our divorces that we have been through, new relationships that we've gone through, travel gone wrong, customer service that sucks, our clients sometimes that suck. I mean, we don't name them by name because we don't want
No,
to get them
no, no,
angry
no, don't
with
do
us.
that.
But we do share the. We are not a Facebook kind of
You see,
podcast where everything looks like fucking glory. It's
No,
bad. Sometimes it looks pretty
Facebook's actually
bad.
terrifying at this point.
Right. Oh
Um,
my God. Yeah. With politics, it's all
no,
horrible.
oh, and AI. But anyways, I won't go there. Michelle, what do
Oh,
you
okay.
think?
Yeah.
Do we ever do, I mean, if anything, we don't talk about like our sex lives, and we don't talk about people that are close to us that we shouldn't talk about. We do dabble in politics. I personally love
Yeah.
talking about it. And
Yeah, we do.
sometimes I've got to rein
Same.
Michelle in. I'm like, come on, join me on this tirade. I want to get on my soapbox. Um, but I think, anything's out. We talk a lot about, being a woman in today's society. And sometimes people don't want to hear about that or talk about that because there's just a lot that goes into that, which we're not scared to share.
Well, I think about the I don't want to call it privilege, but I think about the privilege of being a middle-aged white guy in today's world, and I'm like, you know what? I know that nobody's going to ever feel sorry for us, so it's
No,
like, okay, so it's fine, it's fine. You don't have to fucking feel sorry for us. So how do I get my message? Like, look, shit happens in my life too, and I feel like I'm not looking for empathy or compassion from
no.
my audience, but I feel like there goes Sandler whining about stuff, and like maybe I shouldn't whine about it. Maybe, but I think our
I
audience is
disagree
just
with
grown
that.
to it. Okay, tell me. Well,
I
what do you think?
disagree with that because I think you as a person, you have life experiences that might resonate with other people. And just because you're a white middle-aged man doesn't mean you're unimportant. I think you can add a lot of value sharing your stories and your experiences, talking about your divorce. A lot of people, there's shame surrounding that. Why
Right?
not share that with people? I
Yeah.
mean, if
well,
you were going to walk around being like, oh, I experienced a bunch of racism the other day, then I'd be like, dude,
Thank you. Thank you. All
get
right,
out of
Michelle, what were
here.
you going to add on
I
to
was
that?
just going to say, I think it's all about the struggle that people want to listen to anyway. And within that life experience, if it was a hard road from you getting to where you were to where you are now, that's where the juicy stuff comes from. And I
I,
feel like, well, Lauren, I call them the nosy rosies. They live
Oh,
for
the nosy
that. They
Rosies
live for
love
that.
hearing about the
w-
personal
The
turmoils.
greater the struggle, the better.
Tell
The
me about
greater.
Nosy Rosie. I don't know that term.
It's
Michelle,
just a demographic. It's just that person, that listener, that one that just comes and shows up just to hear, maybe
the
mostly
struggles.
the
Yeah.
Oh,
hardships, you know?
We would joke that when we would write about our mom on our
Yeah.
blog, we would write about like we would share recipes. We'd share like,
mhm,
I would share my travels, and then we'd share this was a real hard
Doom and
week in
gloom.
particular with our mom, she's dying. It was the most read, these were the most read posts. Well,
right,
I do think
right.
because they're so relatable and there's such a human component to it that everyone, of all the things that we're all going to experience on this planet, everyone's going to experience death and grief. So that's something that people can really relate to more than like me going on an Italian vacation. But nosy Rosies are the people that come out of the woodworks to read about your dying mom.
Going to Italy in April, by the way. Nobody wants to hear about that. I am going. That's what I'm
But
doing.
are you?
Yeah, I am. But
Amazing.
it's like, yeah, it's going to be a great trip, but nobody fucking wants to hear about me having a good time. They
Yeah,
just want to
man,
hear
go,
about.
but go and have the best
Mhm.
time
I
ever.
will.
I, for one, would love to hear about it. I love hearing about people's travels.
Michelle, I feel like I'm stepping all over you. Go ahead and share what you want to share because I think you're.
The
Yeah.
thought has left the building. I don't even know. We moved on to something
I
else.
hear you. Got that damn condenser microphone. You got to talk up, girl.
Oh my God, get closer. Get closer.
What do you want people to know about if you had somebody that you were pitching to partner and be someone that was going to take over your production costs and all
Mm.
fees associated with everything that you have as it relates to your podcast. Pitch your podcast to my audience like they were a future producer.
Who's doing it? You or me, Michelle?
You,
Me? Oh
you,
gosh, I just got a little nervous.
come on.
I want your listeners to tune in because what they're going to get a trifecta of Midwestern banter between two sisters. They're going to learn a little and laugh a lot. We've got
Yeah.
this great wheezy laugh that people just love
You
hearing.
do.
It's like,
You
yeah,
do.
we're ex-smoker. Well, I'm more of an ex-smoker than Michelle. But the third thing, and I think the most important aspect of our podcast is we inspire people to slow down, care less, and do nothing. And it's that trifecta right there that really kind of bubbles up within people because we're all on a fast track. We're all hustling. We're all trying to get our to-do list done. And we are the people that are going to be in your ear, like plug us in because we're going to tell you to do a little less,
Mm.
actually.
And
And we're
not
not,
just
yeah, go
and
ahead.
not just do less because we think you should be a big loser and not check off life's tasks. Do less because me have experienced the depths of what burnout feels like trying
Mm.
to navigate caring for everybody and putting myself last. And that's really what our message was born out of was that experience and the fact that my sister, who also happens to be a teacher in yoga and mindfulness, she was able to pull me from a place where I was drowning at a pace that wasn't sustainable. And we there created this conversation, this message,
Formula.
this formula, slow down, care less, do nothing, because those are the tools that we feel, know, and live every day are what your well-being relies on. It's how
Totally.
to live the good life.
I
Hmm.
think about I think about that. What is it? Carrie, tell me what are the three things? Do less.
Slow
Slow down,
down,
Right.
slow
care
down,
less.
care less, do nothing.
I think in the 90s, there was a wrecked marriage for me at 20 years married. I think that part of the reason the marriage got wrecked was because I was living the opposite of that. I felt like there was a direct connection
Mm,
between harder work and more
Hmm.
success. And it wasn't
totally.
until probably a few years before 2020 when the pandemic happened. It's almost like I think in my mind, God forbid, that happens again. And there's, we don't, never want
I
anybody to
know.
lose their life
Hmm.
because of sickness. But it was like, thank God it happened because it really took me. It took an entire business. I was in the live events business, and it took my entertainment business, and it completely shut me down for 2 years. Thank God the production business had already been ramping up, and I had the opportunity to build that. But I think about my attitude once I started to slow down was
Mhm.
let me really work on this. Let's make a concerted effort to delegate, delete some of the responsibilities, dream a little bit
Delete.
more. And then I
Uh-huh.
discovered a direct correlation between working smarter and more success, not working harder and more success.
Totally.
Everything you're saying. Yes, yes.
I also think that you kind of hit the mark right there, Doug, when we were talking about like success, like working harder. Growing up, we were taught that success is it's what's in your bank account and what
Mm.
certificate you have or whatnot. And we as individuals believe that success is more in how you feel and in the relationships that you nurture and the time that you're spending when you're not just working. Like, what are you doing with your life? And you mentioned dream bigger, work smarter. These are all of the things when someone listens to our podcast, they're going to get these little nuggets of wisdom. But again, like I said, they're going to laugh a shit ton too as well. So it's like the perfect combination between like education and entertainment.
What do you hope that becomes of your brand, of what you're doing? Because
Oh gosh.
you're creating the runway that will evolve into even beyond where it is now. You guys have done a great job with staying consistent, putting your message out. How long you been doing your podcast? How many years?
5 years.
Five.
Yeah, I
Yes,
mean, 5 years of podcasting is a success on its own, and
it
I
is.
always feel like, oh my God, you guys have been doing this for every week, maybe even more than a week, throwing some bonus episodes in. You've been doing one a week for the last 5 years, and building this runway. Where is the runway taking? What direction is that runway leading you to?
I feel like there's so many roads and paths that we want to take. I mean, we want our message to slow down, care less, and do nothing to be something that's recognizable, like nationwide. Everybody is on this fast path in life, and we do this talk in front of people, and Lauren and I laugh all the time because we love being live. We love sitting in front of an audience and having these conversations, which is another path we'd like to take,
Yeah.
but it's head nods for us. It's like the visual recognition that what we're saying is connecting with the person in real time. And so I
Hmm.
feel like we would love to do that, spread that message everywhere as much as possible in front of as many people as possible, because again, it's about wellness. It's about taking care of yourself.
All right, Lauren, what's your Lauren? What is? Sorry, I keep
You
calling
call me
I'm
however you
so
want to.
fucking East Coast I am. It's like I am
like
a West
it.
Coaster now.
Lauren.
Well, if for me, that's how it's spelled. Loren. Or
No, Lauren. I think that's where like the Lauren comes into.
Well, Ralph Lauren isn't, or Ralph Lauren. I don't know.
Or
All right.
Sophia Loren. I actually wish that my parents did pronunciate it as Loren.
All right. Well, I'll give you the opportunity to always say your name
You could
before
call
you do.
me Loren, actually, if you want.
I'm trying, but every time it comes out of my mouth, I'm like, oh, that just came out wrong. I gotta state that again. I'm sorry, Lauren.
I want to piggyback with what Michelle was saying. So if you have your Chicago listeners, on August 12th, we are actually taking our what we call April, what did I say, August? April 12th, our what we call Slow Down, Care Less, Do Nothing, a Sister Project original presentation. We're taking it to Zanies. And so if you know anything about Chicago and Zanies is a comedy club here in Chicago. But we will be doing it right outside of Chicago in Rosemont, because their venue's bigger. So for sure, this would be to take this conversation on a national level. We see a book in production, a book written at some point.
It's already being written. I always say it all the time. It's
that's true too.
Just have to put it together.
Well, every episode you're writing your book, because you have a natural capacity to take that content and, well, you know this already. I don't have to. Okay, keep going.
Honestly, I would love for a production company to come knocking on our door and say like, hey, you guys have been working so hard. Why don't you guys just think of how you can do this message every day? And maybe why don't we do like we'll produce your show for you. We'll pay you to do your show. And now we work for a production company who produces our podcast for us.
And they turn around, sell advertising, sponsorship spots, and
all
product
the things.
endorsements.
We've got
all
of the ingredients.
We've got the work ethic and the message.
Baby. Oh yeah. Anyone out there listening?
All right, there you go. That was a great call to action. Nice Guy community. If there's any,
thank you.
Oh, by the way, do you guys have a name for your community? Because I heard you kept calling them listeners, and I'm like, no, don't call them listeners.
We call them Michelle.
Weird internet friends. Okay. So you know what, Doug? Actually, that's what I'm going to start referring to them now that you've said that for podcasts moving forward, because there are weird internet friends, and that's what we refer to them as.
Yeah, and on our podcast, we call them whiffs and sometimes listener, but whiff is very much our nomenclature for our community.
Well, I had gotten you from referred to you by Phil Fernaro, who has Lightbulb Moments, that podcast, and he calls his community the Bright Community.
Yep.
And every time he calls them that, I'm like, that's really good. And I've encouraged for 10 years, I've encouraged my clients, don't just call your audience listeners or hey there, or call them what you want. I mean, Nice Guy community. I want them, our hardcore fans of our show are called our Funkin' fans. So for us, it's like, I'm not saying Funkin' instead of fucking fans. It's
Funkin'. Wow, look at me.
And I'm usually the one that gets those things later.
I'm like, Funkin' Monkey.
I got that.
Well, but I do love that you call them whiffs, and it almost is like everybody wants the badge of honor to be a whiff. People that are just tuning in the first time are just listeners, but you want to elevate yourself to the whiff status. You've got to be able to do that.
When we meet people in public, they'll be like, "I'm so and so. I'm one of your weird internet friends," and that is when you know you've done something right. In like on an online or podcast community, is that someone is actually referring to themselves as one of your people.
So Nice Guy community, if you are in our audience and you are listening to this and you have the capacity to bring on Lauren and Michelle to your production side, and you have a marketing effort and you have advertising dollars at your disposal, this is a great opportunity for you. Get in on the ground level. And they're pretty cheap also. I think they probably go for a pretty cheap price.
Listen, I was going to make a very inappropriate joke, but I'm not going. You know
what?
Go ahead. What we usually say is that we give out dry hand jobs.
Dry hand.
There you go. That's cool.
Because no one really wants one, but someone will take one.
I love it. All right. So talk to me about, so you guys are a family of 5 siblings, correct? So four sisters and one brother?
Yes. That's correct. You did a good family tree.
That fuck up of that one brother, he must have just completely like, oh my God, I'm like,
kind of.
I want to be a football guy, but all I got is Barbies.
he was such, Lauren, do you remember? He was like such an independent player,
He
Like,
was
he
Ninja
had
Turtles,
Ninja Turtles,
Where did
He-Man,
he fall in the
the
in the
youngest.
Oh God.
I
Fast, God
know.
help him.
We jokingly sometimes called him like Rob Kardashian because, at one point Rob kind of just disappeared. They were like, "Where's
Mhm.
Rob with his sock company?" And then he came back around again. So at one point, yeah, Nick was kind of like Rob Kardashian, he was just kind of doing his own thing. And
Was he the guy? Was he the brother that you just thought was like the fifth sister? Did you like dress him up and
no, no,
make
we
it? No,
didn't.
none of that. You guys
No,
never
he
It was
was because
really
I
really.
think we were so excited that we had a brother.
Yeah, yeah,
I wonder what Nick's perspective.
We
yeah.
need to get
I'm
him on the
curious.
podcast,
That would be
actually.
Hold on.
very
You want to get him on the phone? We could do that. No, I don't
Wouldn't that
probably
be
actually.
won't answer.
I don't
fun?
actually have the technology to do
An
that. I have
unknown
no
number
idea.
coming in. I
No
wish
idea
we
how
can
to
just
do that.
call up people.
I'm the only one that answers unknown numbers, and then that just leads me down a bad path.
Yeah,
So,
giving away her social security
Yep.
number.
oh boy, do you guys do anything like voicemails? Do you have people call into the show, leave voicemails, and you play them on the air?
No, but we
No,
talked
we
about
want
it.
to do that. We
Totally.
have obviously people write in, and no, we do. We have had people leave us voice. That's actually untrue. We have had people leave us, we had some people call in. We had some whiffs call in with ghost stories
Yeah, yeah.
over Halloween. And so we did do an audio version of that. But we follow this podcast. I love the podcast. The I've Had It podcast, and it's
Okay.
two women from Oklahoma City who just bitch about shit they've had it with.
Okay.
And it's across the spectrum.
It's like
And
a
they
clean version of Guys We Fucked. Have
it
you ever heard
ain't
that
clean.
podcast? Have you
No, yeah,
heard?
but it ain't clean. These women are
Very
and they're
good.
Good.
very political and they're so fun.
Got it.
But they have they get a lot of like voice messages in, and we need to amp that up with our whiffs now that you bring it up. Do you have people call in?
Well, we
No.
do, but so I had this I had this voicemail that I had forever. It's 4242 DJ Doug because I spent 30 years as a bar mitzvah MC. So
Oh,
that was
fun.
always my
Mazel.
my phone number. That exactly, Mazel Tov. So I had this number and I just said, "Well, why don't we just use that for our nice guy community?" And now we had one person that's specifically Jared, and we have he's got the theme song music. It's the theme song from from Jared's voicemail.
Okay.
So we have Jared's voicemail theme music, but we play everybody's voicemails on the tail end of that. Typically, we'll get, and these are our Funkin' fans, so these are our hardcore fans. We probably have 10 or 15 that routinely will call in, and Jared and JD and Sean and Tim, and Erica and Emily, those are, a handful of them, and they'll call in. And so we love. Okay, so here's a little behind the scenes, and our community knows this, but you probably don't, because if you haven't listened for any period of time, you wouldn't know. We basically show up with no agenda. We have no topics.
For your show.
Yeah, for the show.
Okay. Did not know that.
Yeah, we don't arrive
Kind of
with.
nice.
It's great.
You're really good at it. You're
Well, we
really
just have a conversation. It's like we do, and it's harder actually with guests that I don't know as opposed to Strickland because I can just pick up where I left
Of
last
course.
week or last month or I don't even
Totally.
fucking remember. So we have these conversations, and what will help pepper our ability to have a continuing dialogue with each other is our voicemails, because then we'll go off on the voicemails.
Yep.
We'll stop
Yep.
them halfway in, and we'll start to add our own,
and
editorials
stuff,
to
yeah.
commentary to it. So it is a lot of fun. It would just require you have a phone line that you just promote as a call to action on your show, and then you
Brilliant.
can download them and play them on the show.
You know what, Doug, you're the last piece of the puzzle. We've been talking about this, and now that we're putting it out there in the universe,
It's happening.
honestly, spring, summer, it's happening. We're getting voicemails in 100%.
So fun.
Fun.
Well,
So fun.
so here's what I don't get. You just put off something 60 days that you could do next episode. That's
So
what-
like,
That's
that's the
true.
thing. That's
why
the
the
thing.
fuck are you waiting? Just
I
do
don't
it.
know because I have so much to do. That I'm like, when am I going to put this one in?
No,
So,
you prepare. You do a lot of preparing. Stop preparing.
you know what? I think
Stop.
I'm gonna take a little bit of this from you and not prepare as much. Some things.
You didn't. This was not I did not mean to turn this into any kind of unrequested coaching. I just
No,
feel
I'm
like
here for it.
Okay.
because I keep thinking you would like be the queens of the guest seat in the Joe Rogan podcast. All you need is one appearance on a podcast. Fuck, this one's not the one because this isn't the one that's going to blow up. I mean, we have a great audience, but we're not millions of people that listen. But I think you put yourself or you figure out a way
To
through
get on someone
Big
else's.
Borrow or Steal, whatever podcast, 0.25% or 0.1% ranked, globally ranked podcast, you do a couple of those and you now have again, I don't know how many listeners you have, none of my business. You go from thousands of listeners to tens of thousands of listeners.
That's what we're looking to do.
And then tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands.
Yes.
And see, I don't care enough about building an audience for that.
We do.
That's a lot of effort. I don't want to do it. But to reach out to those podcasters, whether through publicity, they all have fucking shit to promote. Grant Cardone recently came on my show because he's promoting this 10X thing that he has. And Gary V years ago, Ariana a long time ago, they all had
Ariana.
Puffington.
Oh, okay. Yes.
They all had,
of course.
yeah,
Okay.
not Grande.
I was like, wait, how do you know her?
I don't know anybody. I really don't. And sometimes we get so lucky. And for everybody that my audience feels like, man, that was a great get. For every one that we've gotten, we've missed 100 of them. So they're only seeing the fruits of the labor. They don't see all the others. I don't want to work that hard. I'm 60. I don't want to see that work. You
don't look 60, Doug. I'm surprised that by that
hell
age
yeah,
that you just threw out our way.
Well, you can come back anytime you want now.
Thank
now that
you.
I know that.
Oh, yes.
But I just want you for a very short period of time to go through this growth cycle that you only have to do once, and then you'll just grow this audience exponentially. And then I'm not sure the dollars are the success metric that you want. It's not necessarily the one that I'm looking for, but there's got to be some metric that you can tie back to your success to say, I know that was a success because I hit this metric. Like, what would that metric be for you guys? What do you want?
I mean, honestly, when I was talking about a moment ago, like having a production company, be like, hey, sister project, let's go. It would be a salary. It would be like a dollar amount. For me, it would. Michelle, what do you think?
It would be getting paid to create the content that we have. It would take
someone else doing the jobs that we're doing.
Take all the work out of what we do, so we just do the fun part.
What are your day gigs? What do you do during the day?
This is it. We rise and grind our project, the sister project. And Michelle has 2 teenagers who are 16. So her days look a lot different than mine. We recently got into an argument about our work office hours because mine are so different than hers.
Right.
I have a toddler, I have a 2-year-old. So it's a little bit more bananas for me. You know, I went like so many years without having a kid. I had a kid at 41. And when you go that long without having a kid and then you have one, you're like, whoa, what the fuck?
And I feel like I'm going to the place where I don't have kids, which is like a second adolescence, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, so we've literally like swapped places. We're like vice versa.
Yeah.
So that is the thing. We've been working on our business for years, and this is where we are with it. We've built it up so well that we need like that extra lift, like what you were talking about. This is what we do on a daily basis. I mentioned that I do teach yoga as well. But this is it.
So one of the things I talk about with our new clients is the importance of understanding, the key to success, at least from a podcast perspective, what we have discovered, if you understand, get to know your mom, your market, your offer, and your message. If you know who your market is, and it sounds like you know who your market is, you've got that dialed in, and you even have your messaging down. It sounds like you're all, because I've listened and I feel like, okay, this is a consistent message that you're putting out. Even nonsense can be a message. I mean, I'm the great example of nonsense can be a message. It's just our message. The question is, what offer are you making that could get you to the point where financially you could say, fuck it, I don't have to do anything else other than this, and I don't have to work this grind. I can just allow this to happen. And then you put together a subscription model so that it's rinse and repeat. Every month you have more and more and more income coming in because you build upon what you already have as your base. So the only thing of those 3, market, offer, and message, I think that you may probably need to tweak, adjust, figure out is the offer. And once you put that offer together, I mean, it could be, the offer might be an experience. Like, how would you love to, you guys are totally into it. Correct me if I'm wrong. Self-care is ultra important to you both, right?
Yes.
Okay. Why don't you put together an experience that costs your whiffs, $2,500, $5,000, $10,000, different levels, take them somewhere so they can experience what the sister project in real life,
like real life form. Yeah.
Feels like. Take 20 women or take 20 couples or 10 couples, 20 people to some fucking resort and charge them $5,000 or $10,000 to do it. And now you're walking away with $50,000 to $100,000 from doing this live event. And now you feel like, again, unless I just heard it wrong, monetization is an extremely important component of success for you guys so that you can say fuck it a little bit more.
Yeah, and not to get confused with what I said earlier about like success is like a bank account. For us, it would be more like just having a more substantial regular income because
Yeah.
that's what being an entrepreneur is. It's a hustle, right? And which is
Yeah, and
why
also
our
income that we don't have to work so hard to bring it in.
Yeah,
so
I don't think
desperately hard.
Model
I
that
don't
you've just
think
provided.
as a bar mitzvah MC, if I didn't go out on Saturdays and be DJ Doug, twice on a weekend or three times in a weekend, then I was not making money. And the challenge with that is once DJ Doug wants to stop, I couldn't, then I stopped making money. With
Totally.
podcasting, what was so great about this production business, for me at least, was we've created an environment where I can walk away. Our team does the work, and I want to hire people to do it. I don't want to do it. I'm not good at editing or distribution or copywriting or show notes or any of the bullshit that has to happen in order for
Totally.
a successful podcast to go out. But I'd rather hire somebody that excels at that enjoys doing it. If you ever see my nose in a fucking spreadsheet, I know I'm in the wrong spot. I don't want to be there.
Well, you bring up a really good point because part of our formula that we try our hardest to live by and encourage others to do is delegate. And that's where like the care less portion of the idea comes in. Michelle, why don't you tell Doug a little bit about like where you were at the editing point and then you were like, fuck it, I can't do this anymore. And you delegated that.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like anything. Entrepreneurs, we do everything. We literally wear every single hat. And it got to a point where there were things that were taking up an insane amount of time and leaving absolutely no space for anything else. And I was the opposite of the message that we wanted to promote, which was to slow down, care less, and do more of nothing. But the whole care less thing, it's also about like, I think there's a control thing too. You have to like be okay with letting go of some things to be able to give them up and give them to somebody else. I think that's hard for people. But once you flex that muscle and practice it and you start doing it, it becomes like second nature.
Right.
Start giving things away to everybody.
It almost feels a little bit, and I'm working really hard to get over this, but I'm almost feeling sometimes a little guilty. It's like, I woke up and I'm like, okay, well, my first appointment's not till 11 and I have appointments between 11 and 1. What am I doing? What am I doing right?
What are you doing right?
Yeah. Doing right. Sounds like everything.
I know,
Sounds like
I know.
everything.
It feels good
Like
when
you,
you
dude.
when you can do that. I want to be able to shed that feeling of obligation. I've hired this great team. I pay them well. Why not let them just do what they're supposed to do and not fucking micromanage, which was a huge problem for me when we first started this company 8 years ago. It was like I wanted to make sure look, I'm very much into customer service. For me, if I don't exceed expectations every step of the way, then we are not doing an effective job of being a production company. I didn't have to do that. I had to instill that value and moral into each one of my team members. When we found the team members that will do that, I forgot I could let go now. I forgot, hey, look, that show notes writer's doing a great job. She's following up with the client. I don't need to follow up behind her to make sure that they did the job. Let's let them fucking do what they're supposed to do.
Doug, I can totally relate to that. I feel like sometimes I want to hold on to the reins really tightly, double check the work. We just brought on a virtual assistant and we're really in the infancy stage of it though. We are literally we're at the onboarding part of it. So she still really is learning how our business is run and how to contact certain people, but I cannot wait for the day where Michelle and I can feel like that, where we're like, you know what? She's doing a good job. Fuck it. Like, let her just do it, press send, and let's stop micromanaging that.
Well, and when you start bringing those people on, and part of the interview process is I'm less concerned about your skill set in the technical side and more concerned about your ability to interface, with the client. That to me, we don't care. We can train a skill. I can't train somebody to be passionate about wanting to get back to a client quickly,
Totally. That totally makes sense as well.
Keep going. Talk to me more. This is I love this conversation just because I think
What do we talk about?
you guys are 5 years into this and I feel like you are doing all the right. Do you see success the way I see success for you? Do you see it happening? Or you feel like this is going so fucking slow?
Like, Michelle, what do you think?
Honestly, I have to go back to the head nods. I do see success because for me, the success is in the head nod, like I was talking about earlier. To know that this message is actually being received, that's the success. Now, yes, do we need money? Do we need to pay for our kids to go to college? Of course, we do. We've still got some, we're young. We've still got some working years in us. But I also had to sort of recalibrate how I thought about success because I did spend a 20-year career working alongside our dad. And as Lauren mentioned, so when I left that same time as you around COVID, I
Hmm.
made that choice to step down and then COVID happened, which kind of shifted my path a little bit, even though I was going to work full-time sister project at that point. But it was really hard at first to be able to slow down and work in a new capacity. And now I see that being able to work and create and be happy and have space to go
Right.
exercise in the middle of the day and have fun and autonomy, that's success to me. I feel like the most successful person on the planet when I
And
think about it in those terms.
and Lauren, what do you feel like? What success equate to for you?
So, for me, there is a little bit, I have a different perspective sometimes from Michelle.
I just want to say
I,
one thing really quick.
Yeah.
Hang on, I want to interject. I want to interject because Lauren, she and I are living opposite lives. So Lauren has had a flexibility of her career, most of her career. I felt like I was
oh,
in prison. So we did in terms of careers, I never experienced the flexibility that I do now. And that was
mhm.
also freeing for me.
Hmm.
Absolutely. I mean, she was working for someone who had a very different type of work ethic and also expectations for his employees. So
Was it
Michelle
was this
was,
your dad? Was this your
yeah,
dad or okay?
yeah,
All
for our
right.
father.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
and he's an entrepreneur and it was just it was not a good space for me as a person, as a creative. And
Was
I
he
didn't
was he
thrive
a
until I left that.
was he a 1940s 50s dad? Was he
well,
was he
born in
50s
1950. So,
dad.
Yeah.
yeah,
So he came from a different work ethic. It was the
completely.
harder you work, you put in your hours, you come home, you have your martini, you put your feet up, and
Oh, I love a
that's what
martini.
Totally.
you got.
You got that right.
Literally.
And your
Exactly.
was your mom before she passed, was your mom a homemaker? Was she did she
Yes.
have a okay, so
Yes.
it's very
They had a
typical of
1950s arrangement.
right.
Yeah.
And
And
because she had four boys before
poor
I'm
girl.
sorry, four girls before the
Girl.
boy, you were the boys for your father. You were it sounds like you were the worker bees. You were the ones that the legacy came
Kinda.
from you.
A little bit. I would
I
say
mean,
kind of. Yeah.
definitely me.
Definitely, Michelle. I didn't work for my father growing up. I mean, I did here and there, but I did start working at a young age. I love working. I always have loved finding different career paths. I've worked in every industry, not every, but I've worked in so many.
Yeah.
From hospitality to public relations to being a server. It's just I've been kind of done it all. And that's another place where Michelle and I differ as well, is the difference in experience from a work and career aspect. In regards to your questions about success, I think that I'm very successful in many different areas of my life. Like, really, like, you see those things where it's like, I'm so wealthy. I am so wealthy in my friendships and in my love life and with my husband. I'm like the richest person
Mhm.
in the world. Now, I also want to just spring up one day and like fly out to Tahiti, but I can't do that right now. But I want to be able to do things like that. So when it comes to having that sort of freedom of success, I'm not quite there yet.
Mm.
I definitely am still working on that aspect of my life. And also with being an entrepreneur, it is a rise and grind. We're working a lot, and sometimes you don't always see the monetization coming into play that you wanted to see come into play. So we're constantly working on that as well.
Oh, it's
Um,
always slow. It's always slower than you want it to be. An ambitious person
exactly.
never gets more money earlier and says, "Okay, I've gotten here." The ambitious person is always the one that says, "I need it and I want it faster." And we're the product of that. We got in this mode of like, okay, we were paying our team before we were even making any money ourselves.
Mhm.
Fortunately, we had other
Oh yeah.
income that we were bringing in, and then And then all of a sudden it's like, okay, now we're paying ourselves a little bit. Okay, we're paying ourselves a little bit
A little
more.
bit more.
And now, okay, this is great. I love this. I couldn't imagine podcasting for me is the greatest relationship builder. We get in front of so many people that would never have had a conversation with us had we not had, I'm not saying that we wouldn't be able to have a great conversation if we met at a coffee shop one day and you were having a latte and I was also, and we just met each other and we could have a great conversation. But for what purpose? I mean,
Right.
the purpose of building the relationship is good, but why can't we have it so other people are benefiting from that relationship also?
Totally.
So we've had so many great conversations with normal everyday people like me, like you, and that's the beauty of this pod. It's great to have VIPs. They grow your ego metric so that you can say, hey, I've had this person on the show, and
Sure.
it's been great to have some of those superstars. But the best conversations are the ones like this, because we can talk down and dirty, and it's hard to have those conversations and feel like you're getting. I would, let me take that back for a second. I think Grant Cardone was a legitimately authentic person when he sat in my guest seat. I think that the challenge I had with him was I don't have the same politics that he had, so I always felt like if I contradicted to him, I was going to offend him and he was going to leave. So
But
I don't
did
know.
you guys have any conversation on that?
Oh,
Like
well,
about how
the whole purpose of him coming on the show was to promote this movement he has called 10X California, which is basically we're taking the government back. And it was a very conservative stance. And I would say that socially, I'm probably very blue. Financially, I'm probably red. And I was probably not. Some of the things he said, I mean, he mentioned some stuff about, the LGBTQ. Did I do that right? All those initials said
Sure.
something about that community, and I was a little bit like, I'm not going to pile on here. I don't agree with this, but I'm not going to contradict him. I'm just going to let him
have his
or
moment
let him
and
have his moment. It's like if somebody comes on, they promote a product that I don't necessarily believe in. I don't have to promote it beyond the episode, but
sure.
if they're going to promote it, I need to give them the space to do that. I feel like that's fair.
Doug, did it give you like anxiety having someone with such different politics come onto your show? Or were you like or did it induce any like
Activate you.
activate you, maybe make you a little angry or no, like
I'm not
I'm dying
political
to
enough.
know.
I'm not
Okay.
political enough to really you know what? I feel like, our current president, he's an asshole. All right. So he is. But our past president, he wasn't such a good administrator of policy. So
Totally, I get
for
it.
me, but it's interesting when I hear somebody like Trump do his thing, I'm thinking, man, he delivers his message in the most fucked up way. I can't believe that he
Mm.
said that or is doing
F
that.
in
Like the
communications.
whole Gulf of America. I mean, what the fuck is that?
I don't know. Do you? I
So
mean, you're closer to it than we are.
but for me, it's like can I argue that point? Sure, I could argue that point, but it's hard to argue with like stupid. It's just
Yeah.
a stupid thing to say.
Yeah.
But some of the things, it's like he wants. I am not. I am I'm very topic focused. Like I think women should have the right to make decisions about their own body. I don't
Oh
think that
yeah.
the government should interfere with a woman's ability or
Thanks,
a lack of
really
ability
appreciate
to have an abortion. If they want it, it's up to them. It's not up to me, and it should
Yeah.
not be up to the government to make that decision.
Hell yeah.
But at
Thanks.
this,
Thanks, Doug.
no, you're welcome.
Seriously, thank you.
But isn't that just common sense? I mean, why would somebody think differently? Why wouldn't we all want to have like nobody's going to tell me what I can do with my balls? Why would I? Why would I
Well,
tell somebody what they can do with their uterus?
that's probably one of my favorite. I know we're going down like a little bit of a little tangent here, but
That's
I
all
will
right.
say that I do appreciate everything you've just said. I very much echo what you're saying, and I align with what you're saying here. And you make a very strong point, and this is where I come from as well when it comes to about, monitoring what women can and can't do with their bodies, is to ask that question. Whenever, if ever, are men monitored or told they can or cannot do something with their own body? And that question right there always, gets a conversation started or stopped or it gets some sort of
Right.
activation because that's just what we're wondering.
But
Why
can't
are our bodies up for
but
grabs?
can't you live with? And I'm not saying that at all is a correct policy, and I don't think that the Supreme Court should have overruled it and overturned it and all of that. But at the same time, can't you live in? Can't you just play within the rules that are given to you? And like I'm trying to think of something that would even be relatable for me from that perspective. But the government's going to make all sorts of policies and laws and everything, and I'm going to figure out how I can work those laws to my advantage, even if the law initially appears to be to my disadvantage. I'm not saying that pro-life should be anti-abortion should be a law that is commonplace in the United States. I don't think it should be a state decision. It should be a woman's decision. But at the same time, if they do change the laws and you need an abortion, wouldn't you figure out a way to do it, or would you just kowtow to the law?
Oh gosh, that is such a complex question because there's so many things that come into play. Legalities. Okay, yeah, of course, if you really needed or wanted one, what's at stake here?
Like an underground railroad.
That's what I'm thinking.
Doctor's office to get one, and now you're
why are we going back to the wire hanger?
No, I don't want
yourself down the stairs.
No, I don't want any of that shit to happen. I don't want it to happen at all. But if this is, look, 51% of the people in the United States voted for this asshole. It's like, okay, so somebody, and obviously the Supreme Court, to a degree, they didn't say we are pro-life. What they said was we're going to let the states decide, and then the states have a decision to make. But the states deciding from federal law is just one step closer to making it so that they're going to take over the rights anyway. And some of the states have said, no, we can't do this. I don't know how we got stuck on pro-life versus
that's okay. But you bring up a good point, because Michelle and I recently, just this conversation in general, first of all, I think it's really healthy to have these conversations. People are scared to have them. It intimidates people. And I don't think you have to be like well versed in all politics to just be able to share your opinion. And I love the fact that you were open enough to share yours with us. And this, we started because you were telling us about your guest Grant that was on, and I asked you,
the politics,
were you nervous?
Right,
yeah.
Right.
But Michelle and I, after the inauguration of President Trump, Michelle and I had recorded a podcast where we forced it. Like, we decided we didn't talk about the inauguration. We just kind of like did our thing. We went about our business and recorded a really shitty podcast. And it was off, Doug. I mean, it was one of those things where we felt off as sisters. We felt off.
We got in a fight later.
We got into a fight later.
Wow.
A good old fashioned sister fight. I punched her. I'm just kidding.
Nice.
She's like, I voted for him. And I was like, fuck you. No, I'm kidding. She did not. But she and I had a talk. And what ended up happening, we scrapped that entire 1 hour podcast conversation.
Mm-hmm.
We got back on the mics the following day, that next morning, and had ourselves a true and tried conversation about the inauguration, how we are feeling as human beings, as sisters. We discussed the argument that we got into. And Michelle shared about how she kind of like skirts away from confrontation. Michelle, how would you say that you felt about that conversation? The official one, the first one we had. Like the reason, like why we kind of didn't dive into it.
I mean, I don't know. You and I weren't vibing. You could tell that right from the beginning.
Right.
You were stepping into it, and I
wanted to talk about it.
She wasn't baiting me. She was throwing me a bone.
I was like, come on, let's have some fun.
And
there's no fun in that call.
No. I didn't take it. And it was truly a butthurt conversation.
Strickland, who is my co-host and the partner in our production company, he is much more political than I am. And he usually brings to the table a lot more knowledge or wisdom. I bring what like my gut reaction to some comments are.
There's so many things about what you've said in this conversation. I relate to you on so many levels, from business
and to this right here,
politically, this exact thing, how you conversate about those types of things, literally all same.
Well, go ahead, Lauren.
I wanted to close it up because I will say that like Michelle and I had that conversation, we re-recorded it. And to this date, the people write in, whiffs write in telling us that this is one of their favorite episodes ever because we talked about politics, where a lot of people, podcasters or influencers or social content creators, they don't want to talk about what's happening. I get it, but there's a fear. And the reason why, Doug, is because people are scared to scare people away. Because God forbid you talk about something that might ruffle some fucking feathers. And we do that.
We got 999 problems, but being afraid about losing followers ain't one of them.
Well, I mean, the whole thing is, if you can't bring out your legitimate, genuine self to your podcast episodes, your people are never hearing, your community is never understanding who you are or what what you're all about.
Mhm.
I don't, I agree with you guys. I think that if we haven't frightened away some of our listeners, I don't think we're doing a good enough
Yeah.
job.
I love that. I completely agree with you. If
Mhm.
there, yeah, if a couple
Because you're
people are
keeping it
running,
surface. You're not having the real conversations.
yeah,
No,
if
definitely not.
everyone's sticking by, and that's when you know you're doing something wrong, is with if everyone's sticking around.
Well, it's nice to be able to have a good size audience. If you really need something from them, we're not like network television that has to toe the network line. We're not the New York Times, and we have to
No,
tie
what
the
is it,
editorial,
FCC?
whatever. Right?
Yeah.
There is no other than copyright violations. I don't think we've gotten in any trouble at all on the show. We put the little explicit rating on each of our shows because we
Oh,
don't
do
know what
you?
we're.
I
Why
love
not? I mean,
that.
I'm sure we scare off people just by having an explicit rating to our show.
I bet you do, of course. I mean, we have scared off
I
people
do
because
it,
we have.
Lauren. We are explicit. We say fuck.
I
That
didn't know
does
that we
leave
are.
that house. I don't know
Oh,
what to
I'm
tell you.
so happy to hear that.
Yeah, we're dirty birds.
Cozy conversations. We say fuck what?
Mhm.
So do you have the little E next to your
It's
name? Do
not,
you know?
no. I just, when I check the box, when I upload, I check, there's an option
Right,
explicit.
right.
I click that.
You
No,
can
we
do it
don't have,
overall or you can do it per episode.
no. Oh, but maybe I should do it overall.
It'd probably be just
We're gonna have to
get her
dive into that.
done. Get her
Mhm.
done.
So
Yeah.
take your podcast 5 years down the road from now, and now you're doing your live show. Oh, by the way, I have a good idea for how
Oh my
to
God.
Yes.
ease into a live show, but I'll come back to that in a second.
Okay.
Oh, can't wait
You're
to hear.
5 years down the road right now, and you're now 10 years in doing this, and you got twice as many episodes that are out. Give
Mhm.
me like, where are you? Like, where do you see this? And have you guys ever discussed this? Do you set any kind of goals for this? Is there any metric that you follow?
God, I have
It's
not
funny that he says that because we just
because
had
it's
a
today.
conversation. One of our, people, our advisors, that are business advisors, who had this conversation with us a couple of months back. She said this, asked us that very question. What, I know that you guys aren't looking to like shut her down and sell your biz or whatever, but you have to think about what you want this to look like long term. And
Hmm.
one of our we would like to be like the top podcast in the country, top leisure podcast in the country. I guess you got to say it. If you want to do it, you have to say it. And in the meantime, what we're doing to get there is streamline our business and make everything on the inner workings function. So when it's time one day to maybe sell it or pass it down, we can just put a big red bow on it and
Yeah, but
go.
without Michelle and Lauren, what is the sister project?
Exactly.
There are there
Well,
there are some things.
create that environment that you can do that. I mean, I'm sure your
Hmm.
coach would have some advice for that. Like, how do you create the sister project? Do you have ambassadors of the sister project? Do you have team leaders within the sister project?
Mm.
Do you have offerings that don't require you to actually be there? Or some online coursework, anything? I'm not saying create any of that. I just keep thinking, all right, I'd love to create an environment where Michelle and Lauren can walk away at some point. Not that you want to, but you could.
We might.
The business does not require you to be a
Mhm.
part of it in order for you guys to be successful at doing what you do.
You know what I like about you, Doug? A few minutes ago, I think you were like, "Why you're working too hard? Relax." And I was like, I'm going to do that. I'm going to take a load off later." Right now, you're like,
I'm
"I
gonna
got
get
to dream bigger."
Isn't that one of your 3-step formula?
Slow down. Yes.
It's like,
I'm going to do
okay,
nothing.
well,
But
let's
this is the
live
okay,
it.
but this is the magic behind the do nothing component of our formula. The idea behind doing nothing, I want to know if you do this ever, Doug,
Yeah, go.
is to literally just kind of for really do nothing. I'm not talking like scroll or do anything. Lay down, let your brain wander and do
Mhm.
nothing.
That's where you find your best, most creative, most
Yes.
productive ideas.
Yes.
When I'm hiking and I'm just either by myself or talking to my
Uh-huh.
girlfriend, we create an environment where me time is a part of our
I love it.
schedule.
Doug,
Without that, how do you fucking grow? You can't solve the problem from inside the problem.
exactly. And that's what we try to tell and inspire people to do. And Michelle talks a lot about like the head nods. Like when we're doing our presentation in public speaking, it's a lot, it's mostly in front of women.
Mhm.
Because a lot of the organizations or businesses that hire us to come do that are either like moms
Yeah.
clubs or
Right.
whatever.
Right.
And a lot of women don't find or think they have the time. I think it's they don't think they have the time because all it takes is like one 2 minutes to 10 or 15 minutes of this idea of like doing nothing or slowing down so that you can generate these ideas. I like when I'm doing nothing, when I think about like, it's like problem solving. I get a lot of like, oh, I could have done it this way, or I can do this that way. And that will be a better way to do this thing that I'm working on or whatever it might be. And I find that just doing nothing answers and solves a lot of my problems.
Do you guys have an executive spin, like advanced women in executive spin on this? Because I just saw when you said Moms Club, and no offense to Moms Clubs that are out there, but I heard Moms Club and I thought I'm doing this free thing, or I'm doing this. I get $150 as a, just I don't know what to
Talking
call
like
it.
C-suites. Do we go to like the
Yeah,
the
like
busy
I just
working
I
moms?
just saw a $10,000 executive presentation that you're delivering to, entrepreneurs of America or whatever, or a C-suite organization that has all of these executive people, executive women that are in it that need what you have. For the most part, C-suite executive women have to work harder than C-suite executive men
There's no doubt about that.
to maintain. And for
Hmm.
you to go in with the message of, hey, look, you don't have to do that in order to achieve more than these fuck up, middle-aged white guys in there,
Totally.
who are spending more time, womanizing than they are actually, managing. I automatically, I just saw, are you doing that? And if you're not, maybe there's an environment where that's a part of your deliverable, your dynamic duo of doing what you do with the sister project, taking it to corporate America, having this
Hmm.
corporate retreat. Again, that's a $10,000 or $15,000 or $20,000,
Hmm.
$25,000 offer. And I would see executive women flocking to something like that because they need to hear what you have to say.
Yep. Are you looking to come on
Do
as
you want to be
our
hired?
I don't want to
business?
be hired. I want to give it to you because I want your
Oh,
success to
God.
be a part of my resume.
We will
God.
help make that a part of your resume. And you bring up a great point. And what we have found, a lot of when I say moms clubs, yes, I did use that as a
That's okay.
an
That's all right.
example.
But that
But
was a
a
good
lot of
one. That
these
was a good one,
lot
though.
a lot of these moms are working moms. Like
Right.
we've got women in there that are momming and working. But you bring up a good point about, and there's a lot of people that aren't moms out there that are working their ass off, right? Trying to get up a level, climb the corporate ladder. And our message would absolutely benefit them because I have one of my good friends is a lawyer and she is busted out all day long. She's getting her ass kicked. She's always trying to find time for
Yeah.
herself,
Yeah.
can't
Yeah.
find a single moment.
Yep.
And there
Well,
is definitely this demographic of women and men who but we do lean into the modern women in today's society.
Yeah, but you don't have to be your superpower doesn't have to be in delivering your message to new moms or just to moms that not just but to moms that
I
are
understand.
that have to deal with balance. Your same message,
Could
the
be
the three-step process, create an entire program around your three steps. Here's how you do this. Here's how what are they again? Sorry, I've asked you this
that's
slow
already.
okay.
down, care
Mhm.
less, do nothing.
Okay, so if you present that when you say care less, people might think, well, that means that you can be
Yes.
ambivalent. That might be a negative. But if you if
It's a
you
hard pill to swallow.
It's a
right,
hard one.
but less as an acronym could mean any number of things. It's
Uh-huh.
like a lower your blood pressure, have a self-esteem.
Yep.
It could be any number of things. And delivering that message in a positive, it's like in corporate America, the no asshole rule. Somebody might take offense to that. Somebody might take offense to caring less and the other two. And my thought is, man, why can't we create this amazing offer for these executive women and use the dollars that you are getting so that you can finance your ability to go in and do it free for groups
For
of
smaller
moms,
group.
for,
Yep,
for smaller groups that,
absolutely.
that don't have the payment to pay you.
Basically, we're going to turn this into another way of how can we bring that our messaging to like this C-suite executive. It's
Right.
brilliant. And it's not that we haven't thought about it. It's just that here you are talking to two moms who have a business who are trying to do it all.
Right,
But
right.
talking to people like you, Doug, who have such great fresh ideas, and the way you're delivering these ideas to us are hitting hard in a great way.
Real hard.
Basically they're slapping.
Slapping. They're slapping.
I don't mean to slap. I heard you say something
No,
about
it's a good thing. Slaps are good.
Yeah, slaps are
Good
good.
slap. It's like, oh, that's so good. It slaps.
One of the other ideas that I was thinking about earlier that I said, hold on, I'm
Yep.
going to come back to this idea, is using your podcast as a platform to do your own virtual live event. Have you thought about that, or have you done that yet, where you bring in
We
your
haven't.
audience?
No,
No.
but we need to.
You
And that's
record on
something
Zoom
else.
or
We
something else?
record
No,
on Riverside.
Okay, well, the same idea. You could share the Riverside link. It may be better, easier to do it on
Zoom.
Zoom because everybody knows the Zoom platform now. But I keep thinking, even if you had 5 people show up from your WIF community, and I think you'd have a lot more than 5. You
Agreed.
promote it for a month, and then you do this. Hey, we're doing a live virtual event. We want you to be a part of our live studio
write this
audience
down.
here on our Zoom meeting. Let's do it. And you have 10 or 15 people show up, and now you're working with them. They're giving you, where do you find your best ideas from? You find them from the market that you serve.
Yes,
You
totally.
just say, what do you need more of? How can I serve you better? How can I bring
Uh-huh.
more of us and our sister project to you? What do you need from me? And then part of the conversation has to be, what would you be willing to pay for? What do you want a membership into something? Do you want exclusive access to something else? Do you want a service that I'm delivering? Do you want a coaching program? Do you want an experience? What is it that you're looking for? Michelle and I keep coming up with these great ideas, and it's like, we want to do this for you, but we don't know what that is.
You mean Michelle, Lauren, and Doug?
I'd be happy to be
going
there, but I feel like, who's this fucking dude on the show with me?
You guys, this is Doug. He's our Mr. Project.
I just see so much of that for you, and
It's a brilliant idea.
well, the live
I love
studio
it.
audience is a really safe spot. I know you're not seeking safe. I mean, certainly you'd be willing to put yourself out there, but I see it as a really safe spot for you to start the idea, because you can easily go to your audience, and if nobody shows up, you just record your show anyway.
Yeah.
But people will show up. I'm not worried about that at all.
I think people will show
And I
up.
think more than 15 or 20 would show up. I think a whole bunch of people would show up.
Can you imagine if you have like this Zoom meeting where you have 100 people show up, and you pin you and Lauren and Michelle, you guys both pin your images there, and then you have
Yep.
all of these people
all these little
that
heads
could
nodding.
chime in.
Nodding.
I mean, how much energy and
Oh, that's
how
what I was
much
going to
power
say.
do you
That's like
pull from that?
that's the fuel
That's-
that's what drives us. That's what we feed off of.
Well,
You
that could be
know-
your original live show right here, virtual.
I like this idea. Doug, every week I enjoy one martini, and I call it Martini Friday. And every Friday I have a dirty martini with blue cheese olives. It's so freaking good.
Oh,
Sometimes
so
it's
good.
at a restaurant, sometimes it's at home if I make it. But I kind of feel like our whiffs are all in the know about my Martini Friday. It's like
Do a
thing
happy
now.
hour then. Do a happy hour.
That's what I'm
with them.
saying.
Yeah.
Like, join us for a Martini Friday.
Yeah.
Michelle and I are going to do a little slow down, care less, do nothing tutorial. And Lauren's going to get a little tipsy and sip her
Oh,
martini. all
hell
the
yes.
time.
And you know what you got there? So you've just given me an idea. So
Let's go.
advance that to the next step. You're doing this
Okay.
live studio audience where you first talk to your audience, and you're doing the happy hour. In that program, you have an offer. The offer is, if you want to take this conversation to the next level with me, here's our offer. We're going to do a class. It's going to be 4 happy hours for the next 4 weeks, or you set it whenever it works for you guys in your schedule. And you come up with a price. It's $197. It's $497, whatever. It's $1,497. And during those conversations, you actually get down to problem solving with them. You're creating the course as you are recording, so you don't have to do any prep work for it. You're basically creating it as you go
Okay.
along.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it? Did I just blow your mind?
You're blowing Michelle's.
And it's not any more work than just record. All you're doing is you're putting a call to action out. You create a landing page. You get people to opt into it. Now we've got email addresses. They're no longer anonymous. You know who they are. We can now pitch any future project to them as well, because they're interested enough to want to hear more from you. This
Sure.
is a cool idea.
It's a great idea, Doug. At first, I thought you were going to say, and then what you can do is have a 4-week how to make a martini course. And I was like,
No, I
this is
want.
actually a great idea.
Yeah. You could do nonsensical things. You could have a little bonus. This is also what we do. We can teach you how to make the martini, but why not teach what your superpower?
Yes.
Why not do your formula and work your
That's
formula?
what we would do, of course.
Of course. I
Dude,
see
I
this for you.
love this, Doug. I see it. And honestly, you are helping us. Michelle and our situation, we've always thought we want to work smarter, not harder. That also leans into our formula. And we do try that so hard. And then, as two entrepreneurs, businesswomen, working moms, also sometimes we get ourselves in territory that we have no idea what we're doing. So
That's
there's
okay.
a lot of figuring things
Yeah.
out.
That's all right. We build
And
a plane
what's-
as we fly it all the fucking time.
I love it. Build a plane as you fly. That sounds so
Literally
terrifying
what we
and
do.
fun. I love that.
Well,
You guys,
that-
I
think
want to
we
have
will-
this. I just want to give you a time check, just because I've got to pick up my kids at
Yeah,
3.
got it. I got to
Oh,
go too
yeah.
because I actually have an appointment and I got a thing.
You got a thing.
I got a thing in 15
We have a
minutes.
vibrator party. We know what's
I
going
got a
on.
thing happening. It's happening. It's right now.
It's
You right there, honey?
No, Doug, but these ideas are so brilliant, and I think they're so actionable.
Yeah, you totally
This
can
is
take
not
baby
like
steps.
no.
No. This is easy. Let's the three of us follow up outside of this
Okay.
recording. We'll have them back. Nice Guy Community. We'll have Michelle and Lauren back, and they will
Thank
tell us the
you.
results to this,
Oh,
so that
yeah.
we'll do an actual case study here.
Okay,
There's
I'm here for
no, just so you know, there is no money exchanging hands here. I don't want any money. There is no pitch that I'm going to
Do you
provide.
want a candle? Do you want a candle?
I don't even want a candle. I don't
Oh.
want you. I don't want there to be any consideration in this. I want
Okay,
this to
fair
be
enough.
completely, joint venture is a game of I'll go first. I really
Okay.
I feel like there is something for us to be able to do together at some point.
Okay.
I feel like I want to be the provider. I want to provide first. If
I
that's
smell
okay.
what you're stepping in, and
I'm sniffing it, and I'm here for it.
I am smell what you're stepping in, and I'm here for it.
Okay.
Oh,
All right. We'll try that. You guys, I give you access to be able to give anything you want after we have been successful at this. But until that, I don't want anything.
Okay, Doug. Thank you.
Fair enough? Fair enough?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let's do
yes.
that. All right.
Thank you.
Any final words? Anything you want to say to my audience before we kick out of here?
Just where they can find us, unless you do that.
Yeah. No, you do it. Go ahead.
Okay, so you guys, what do we call them? Funkin'
Funkin'
fans.
fans. That's cool.
Hey, Funkin' fans, please follow us or check us out at the Sister Proj. At the Sister Proj, so just a J on Instagram, or if you're on Facebook, it's the same. We're a ton of fun. We're doing our thing there. And of course, you can find our podcast, Cozy Conversations with the Sister Project, on every streamable device and app. And our website is cozyconversationswiththesisterproject.com. Come say hi. Let us know that you found us through Doug.
Lauren and Michelle, thank you so much for
Doug,
sharing. This
thank
was great.
you.
This was a lot of
Oh,
fun.
Fun.
This was a 20-minute
you,
conversation
Doug.
gone
Yeah.
right, gone fucking right. I love that.
Yeah.
All right, Nice Guy Community. My
Thanks,
pleasure,
Doug.
Michelle. Thank you, Lauren. Nice Guy Community. Never underestimate the power of nice. Again, special thanks to Michelle and Lauren. All their information, including access to their website, their community, will be right there in the show notes, their Instagram page there as well. Steve O'Brien, go ahead and take us out of here.
For the Nice Guys on Business, I'm Steve O'Brien. They have listeners in other countries? I didn't think anyone was listening outside of their house. Except maybe their moms.